Hey YouTube, so I'm in the garage again today and I am going to be installing these, a lot of people call them quick latches, but in this case it's a quick bumper release for the Subaru BRZ, GT86 and FRS. So a couple weeks back I installed my turbo kit, as you guys can see here, and for a 6-year-old car, almost 6-year-old car, the bumper clips here just kind of disintegrated and broke away. So you guys can see that bumper gap there. So that side is affected, and it's even worse on this side because the actual clip just broke off. And with that in mind, obviously I had to kind of get something else to fix that, because the clips that broke weren't actually the ones that you can replace. So the clips that broke were the ones in the bumper itself. So in this case, my only option is to actually get these quick latches. Now these aren't the authentic quick latch brand that you guys are usually probably more familiar with. These are from Amazon, from a company called Anjoshi. Now I do believe that you do get what you pay for, but in this case I wanted something pretty cheap. For all of this right here, I think it's around $40 compared to quick latches, which are $25 a piece. And in this case, if something does go wrong, at least the work has already been done, and it should be easy to kind of switch like the authentic ones if I do decide to buy them later on and replace them with that one, take these off. So that shouldn't be a problem. For now, I'll push my luck and see how far this will get me. Also, I did forget to mention that these are also available specifically for the GT86, FRS, and BRZ, but they're around $200 for 4 pieces, along with the same kind of hardware, but without the angle kit. Actually, this one doesn't have the angle kit that you put in between the washers, so that's something I have to look into, because I'm not sure how necessary those are for this install. But I do have a 3D printer, and if I ever need them, I can always try and make one and print it out and see how it goes. But other than that, $40 for all 4 along with these hardware is somewhat more reasonable for me. Now since I'm going to be taking off the bumper, I decided to go ahead and also put in my crash beam. You guys can see that is a white crash beam, and that's because I actually got this one for a really good deal, $50 locally. So I'm going to be cutting this one instead of the one I have, the red one, just so that if I ever want to decide to go back to stock, sell a car, something happens, I can switch that off without, having to find another red one to switch it off with. So I do have a cheap angle grinder here that I got from Amazon again, $22. Got some cut off wheels as well I'm using, and I will see how that goes. Now some people might ask, why don't I just go with a drift armor or a JDL crash beam bar, whatever. Well, the JDL one is around, I think, $300, so getting that there for 50 is a big chunk of savings that could probably go into something else. Now the thing is, I am in California, so they're strict about that no plates thing, I think, but that's one of the things there. The drip armor doesn't have that plate holder thing, so I really wanted to keep an OEM crash beam just so that I could use a tow hook plate holder thingy, which is why I'm going to be cutting that and installing it there, just so I can use that instead of spending a lot of money just to have a functioning plate number holder thingy. And with the backstory out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and take off this bumper right over here. Look at that nasty gap there. Ooh, hopefully we'll fix that by the end of the day. But so one tip I do recommend you guys doing is to move the wheel on one side, just so you have enough room to kind of get to these clips right over here. They are Phillips screwdrivers. All you gotta do is get a screwdriver, twist it, counter clockwise, and then it'll just come straight off. Right? So here there's 3, at least on this side. 1, 2, 3, and there's gonna be one right here as well, hidden. Don't forget that. Actually, mine's missing, so that sucks. Yeah, take these out here. 3 of them. Now once you get those 3 or 4 clips off, one here, one there, another one here, and another one in there somewhere. Can't really get it here, but there's another one right over here. You'll see it. It's not hidden or anything. The next step is take off the side markers. In this case, people usually have a hole that they put in so they can take out the side marker. And I've never really found that hole, so in this case I'll just pull it really hard and the clips break. My other side is actually broken from the turbo install. I'll just replace these because I don't like them either way when I get some smoke ones. So in this case I think it's pretty loose for mine, but if you guys can try to figure out how to do that and tell me how to do it, because I tried doing that but to no avail. So yeah, in this case we'll just pull it off and see what happens. And again, as always, it's nice to have a Ziploc where you can put your stuff in so they don't magically disappear. So once you got those 1, 2, 3, 4 clips, there is another hidden clip on top of that side marker right over there. You can see that. So same way, use a screwdriver, take it off, take it out, and that'll be the same in both sides of the bumper. So I've slightly taken off the bumper just so you guys can see what I mean. So this thing is like gone. These two are still good, I guess, but yeah. Alright, so you guys can see under the car, there's 2 bolts that you do need to take off. One of them is located right there. It's a 10 millimeter bolt. Another one on the same side, but the other side over here. Right, and another one on this side, as you can see. And that should be it, I think, for clips. I think one more right here. The same for the other side. Now that those are off, the last thing is to take up these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts here, which are 10 millimeters. And after that, take off this 1 and 2 clips, and I believe that should take care of taking off the bumper. So once you guys got those bolts and clips taken off, you simply just take this thing, put it somewhere safe. That's not safe, but the one tip I got online is to put a shoebox at stock right at least, so that it'll help kind of prepare your bumper from falling, because there are still fog lights I need to disconnect before taking it off. So simply just pull it off, and like so. That shoebox keeps it in there in place, and then I can go ahead and take off this clip here and here, so I can take off the bumper. And usually these are a little tricky to take off, but this button here, so you guys can see, you can put a screwdriver in there, push it, and it should pop right off. Once you guys have that clip taken out, your bumper simply comes off. Nice. So next up on the list is take off the stock bumper clip holder thing here. So that's just a with a regular screwdriver. And once you have that off, there's also 2 clips in here that are attached to the metal side of this frame. So what you're gonna have to do is to push those clips behind. There's one here, one where this finger is moving right behind here, and another one in my other finger right here. So it's like a clip in here somewhere. You'll be able to feel it in the back, so just push that out. I can't do it with one hand, so I'm gonna not try it too. But either way, if you break this, you are not gonna need it anymore, because the quick release bumper latches will be going over here somewhere. Alright, so I got this plastic clip off. The next thing is to kind of test fit where you want this to go in. So people usually have this kit with the angle spacer, which kind of tends to do that right here. So it pokes out this way rather than just straight out. So what I'm gonna end up doing is to make a spacer like that. So here is a rough sketch of how that spacer is gonna be right over here. So the idea is that's the spacer. I'm gonna print out two of this kind of a thing with that geometry, and it should close up, and then like how they sell the kit, it'll go that way, just like that, something like that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and model that real quick, see how it goes. Alright, so here I am in Solidworks. So far this is what I have. I'm gonna go ahead and try and see if this works or not. It shouldn't take too long to print out, maybe around 30 minutes or so for two, and two of those should stack up, make an angle. Hopefully it works, and I'll let you guys know if it works out or not. Looks good to me. Hopefully I'll be able to use it. Alright, so here's my 3D part here. Came out looking good. Now I did print out these smaller ones at first. Did a little bit of a measurement error there, and these ones were the next batch, and looks like I've gotten them to where I really want them, so the right height, angle and stuff. So it should go on like that. It's almost similar to the one from the kits that they sell too, so which is good. I tested out this one here, the smaller ones. They did work alright. They did angle this pin here, but not enough to where it would be in the right place in the bumper, so I went ahead and redid them to these here, and I'm gonna go ahead and test them out. Alright, so the little trick that I'm gonna be using to mark it off where it's gonna be touching the bumper is to put some grease. I had some leftover grease, or a lot of leftover grease from my clutch install, so just put that in on top of that pin there, and I'll put the bumper back on and see where it's hitting, and hopefully it's at the right angle, and might not even have to kind of fix this part again. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that bumper on. Alright, so it's morning now, and I've got the two pins here. So I wanted to do this side first, just so I can kind of better do the other side and get an idea on what works best and what doesn't. In this case, I needed to revise this to make the angle more increase the angle. You guys can see that, and it works out well. Now I do already have the quick latches installed in the bumper, though. I mean, it still looks good, but there's a little vertical misalignment in there. I'm gonna show you guys that, but it's this pin right here. Should have kind of drilled that a little lower to fix that, or maybe angled this up a little bit higher. Either way, hoping that they're gonna be the same on both sides. Also, as far as links, I have them set where they're a little more inside, just so that they could pull the bumper more inwards. Now that is something that you guys are gonna have to try and see what works the best on you guys' bumper. But in my case, these are the correct links, or not the correct links, but my preferred links for these pins here. To tighten them, you just use the pliers to squeeze this as hard as you can, and then turn them with a wrench, because I can't get a wrench and I don't have a socket, the deep socket, to actually tighten them. That'd be nice though. If you guys have that, use it. And also for the 2013 bumper, don't forget that 2013 and I don't remember the exact year, 2016 I think, you do have this headlight bracket here that would need to be cut off. I used a little Dremel I bought off Harbor Freight for like $10. came with a cutter. Use that, cut it that way. Just cut the little flap, and that should be it for that. Alright, so no worries, I'm going to show you guys in detail on what to do on this side, since I kind of have an idea now. So first things first, take your pin, slide in the nut, along with the washer and the angle spacer, which will then go that way. And now for the back side will be angle spacer. There you go. So just make sure it's angled directly that way. So to, in this case, point it all the way to the right so that you can. And it should be good to go. The more challenging one is this one here, because I do have to get this off. This headlight bracket off. So do that. Just you can use the fillets here, it doesn't fit. It's also a 10mm, one here, one there, another one here, and lastly one right there. Now another good tip is to actually measure the other side and see how far down it goes. So in this case it was 1 inch. So if you do this here, the other side is actually pointing at the 1 inch part. Doesn't matter on where this is, as long as it's flushed against the fender here. It's at 1, so that would mean that the angle will be the same as the other side. Right over there. I'll tighten that up and we'll go from there. Now again, tightening it up is all up to you guys, whatever available tools you have. In this case I only have this and this. So, and before doing this side, I actually do this side first, just so that it has a clip in later on, and they're both at the same kind of orientation. Right, so we're gonna do the next one here, and to do that I'm gonna have to go ahead and take off this bracket right here. Pull this up. So it's here. That. Now we are ready to drill this thing. Alright, so like every other guide, what we need to do is use the center point of the square. Okay. Center around there. Slide this into the angled piece. Then, if you guys don't already have one, I suggest you guys get a what is this called? A drill? No. Tapper? No. A center puncher. There you go. Because then, once you got your center puncher, it's worth the investment. So, again, once you got your center puncher, you're gonna use this as a guideline. So your tap should be around in the center of this angle piece. That angle piece. In this case, it would be right over here or here. Okay, push it. There you go. And you get your center, which is really useful for the drill. Now, go ahead and get your drill and your 1/4 drill bit, 1/4 inch as they call it. Tighten that up. So, and make sure the drill is going the right way, which is clockwise. the nice thing about that center puncher is in the drill bit there's going to be a center point that you can put on the center punched hole, and you should be able to just drop it in there. There we go. Drill. So do this patiently. And there's your hole. So, once you have that hole, same process without the spacers now. Just these two. Then, once we have that settled there, we can go ahead and use the Dremel to take this off. Once you have your Dremel, you can go ahead and start cutting the plastic trim piece here. So again, just straight through here and there. There we go. Voila. Right, got that back in, tightly in there. Next up is to mock up the bumper. So for the other side, I told you guys to use a grease. You can either do that, toothpaste, or anything else. But in this case, I found that if I press hard enough, there actually is a marking that comes up in the bumper, which is a better marking. So for example, on here, all I have to do is press it really hard. And as you guys can see, here, you have these marks there and right over there, which is somewhat better than that because you actually know where it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and center punch those on the back side and drill through it. Get your 1/4 inch drill ready and drill through. And now to test fit it by putting the bumper back in place. There it is. Alright, so all that's left to do is to drill off these holes right here to fit in the quick latch themselves. Right, so I am going to be using a step drill. Now I did buy a kit from Amazon, I think it was $15. This one is an exact 1/4 of an, no, 3/4 of an inch, so 3/4. Drill that through, in this case the whole thing. Just gonna drill right through. Once you do have that, all you gotta do is put in your latches. So we got both sides ready to go. See how this bumper looks like. And there you guys have it. Looks good. But this side has less gap than the other side, I think. I don't know why. Maybe that's just weird because I took my time on the other side more than this side. But probably has to do with how crappy my bumper is. This bumper has seen better days. But for now, it should hold. Take that off later. Yeah. Alright you guys, so I do have everything back into place, and overall they actually look good. Now the color matching could be a little bit better, but again, these are cheap enough where in the future if I ever wanted to, I could buy the black ones and put them in there. That's not a big problem. But yeah, did get rid of those bumper gap that are known in the BRZ FRS GT86 community. So for $40, I would say it's a really good investment. And again, as always, if you guys do like these kind of content, please consider subscribing. And if you guys do like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or concerns, you can go ahead and leave that in the comment down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. Again, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.